This is a man by the name of Zuby. I've talked about Zuby before. You'll see Zuby quotes on a lot of right-wing media. Like, they share his shit out all the fucking time. To be honest with you, I've never even heard him speak. I've never heard what he has to say. I've never heard any of his music. But I've seen his fucking tweets shared out by the right wing non-stop. So Zuby for PragerU is going to tell us how a viral moment led to a movement for truth.
How did we get here? People say, oh my gosh, the world is going crazy. And I'm like, it's got here because of your silence.
Because you were silenced. You were cancel cultured.
I was born in the UK, in England specifically, to Nigerian parents, and I grew up in Saudi Arabia. I lived there for about 19 or 20 years in total. My childhood was great. Honestly, it was amazing. I'm from an amazing family. I grew up in a great place, and somewhere that was very truly diverse, where from a very, very young age, I was encountering all sorts of different people. And I think that's a core thing that really sort of shaped my perspective and the way that I see the world even now as an adult.
None meme in the Discord.
So I've really been heavily exposed to 4 cultures in particular. So Saudi Arabia, the UK, USA, because I was actually in an American school up until 5th grade. People always get confused by my
right-wing people quote him all the time.
In school for such a long time. And then, of course, Nigeria as well, Igbo specifically. I did really well in school. I got accepted to Oxford University. It was kind of strange that I ended up becoming a professional musician. Funnily enough, when I was a kid, I didn't actually like music. I didn't particularly like music. I didn't start listening to it until I was 12 or 13, and I got stuck in an airport in Paris, and I had about a 24-hour layover. I was by myself, I was bored, I had my MP3 player at the time and my headphones and a pen and a pad, and I just started writing down some lyrics, and I was like, oh, okay, this is something, I can do it. I just kept writing, and I started recording stuff into my phone, just recording acapellas, and I played it to some of my siblings and my cousins, and they were like, oh, cool, Zuby can rap. And then I got back to university, and one of my friends, Chris, actually had a basic recording studio in his dorm room. So I'd go in there, download beats off of the internet, and I just started recording tracks. And I actually released my first album when I was still in university. And it was an 8-track album. I put it all together, made a few.
Usually it doesn't take me long to come across a Zuby quote on my timeline, and I was just flipping through because I was like, it won't take me long. It's all Elon Musk right now, so sorry.
CDs to begin with. Started out with just 50. Sold them all in about a week.
All Elon Musk.
Building up a bit of a name for myself. That was when it went from just a hobby to something I was earning some income from, and that people liked and were demanding, and people were coming to my shows. Ended up selling over 25,000 albums, just independently, hand to hand in the UK. I've grown my audience from virtually nothing up to, million plus followers currently on social media, and it's been a long way. I feel like I've still got a long way to go with everything I'm doing, but there's been a lot of work that's been put into it, and I'm excited about the future. I don't love conflict, but I don't shy away from it. I quite like arguing. I quite like debates. Some people are just more agreeable, and they don't
debate me, motherfucker.
Rock the boat or say something that potentially could upset somebody out there, or somebody out there might disagree with. I don't mind doing that. I'm happy to do that. Sometimes I like it, and I like to have my ideas challenged because it makes me sharper, and I don't want to be wrong. I'm seeking the truth.
Do you? Do you?
And I'm happy to say, I don't know. I'm happy to say I was wrong. If I have a belief and someone comes with new facts or data or just a better argument, I'm happy to go, you've got a good point there. Let me adjust.
He's a bad take factory, that's for sure.
Comes from. And in order to get that, you have to be willing to go through those uncomfortable conversations or have those ideas.
I'm gonna show you what his Twitter looks like.
Seeker and someone who's just trying to understand the world and understand the human condition. As far as I'm concerned, while I'm here on this earth, one of my missions is to do my best to understand that and not attacking everybody who dares challenge your belief, which is, we have way too much of that right now, or not be willing to talk to someone because they might challenge.
Hold on, where is he?
Every time someone does that, they're literally missing an opportunity to make themselves smarter, wiser, and more empathetic, and to make themselves a better person. So a big turning point for me was in February 2019. I posted a 9-second video of me doing a 230 kilogram deadlift. And I said, I keep hearing about how biological men have no strength advantage over women. So watch me destroy the British women's deadlift record without trying. P.S. I identified as a woman.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's how he started.
Whilst lifting the weight. Don't be a bigot. I just put that out there like I put out a lot of other content. I didn't think that it was gonna become this huge global viral phenomenon.
Oh, it's almost like there's a bunch of bigots out there.
And get millions of views. And I think what's interesting with that is it wasn't just that individual piece of content that went viral. I myself was able to go viral through it. So it was a strange introduction to me, but that's how Zuby came on a lot of people's radar. When I speak, when I write, when I make songs.
Let me, and by the way, I'm leading somewhere here. What? What? I'm blocked. Oh my God, this motherfucker blocked me. He loves to hear other ideas. He loves to be challenged. I'll tell you why he blocked me here in a second. He blocked me today. He blocked me today. Because I wasn't blocked this morning because I was asking him questions. Damn, Zuby. Man, you love to be questioned, don't you? You love to be challenged.
I often don't want to specifically tell people what to think, but I want people to think. People forgotten that freedom and
don't seem like it.
Actually, the default is authoritarianism. The fight for freedom is not something that just happened back in 1940 or whatever, and now we've got it forever. It's like, no, there's always going to be the authoritarian creep. The role of the government, the state, is always going to expand and overreach, and people need to be continually pushing back against that.
I am pushing back against you, motherfucker.
This is absurd. The notion that everybody or most people deeply care about the color of other people's skin or their ethnic origin, it's nonsensical. I just want to be viewed as...
No, we care about the systems that have kept people in oppression for years and the way that has effects on our society. It has nothing... Right-wingers always take everything back to the individual because it relieves them of responsibility for the system that they have created.
As Zuby, right? I'm me, I'm an individual. One of the least interesting things about me is that I am melanated. Yes, my family background is from Africa, so lo and behold, I have certain characteristics. Wow, it says nothing about the person. It's not interesting. What does it say about character? Nothing. What does it say about beliefs? Nothing. What does it say about your individual experiences? Nothing. People I hang out with, people I like or dislike, it's totally based. It's all based on their character and their behavior.
That's the world we're aiming for, sir.
Not only is it false, it's also negative, especially if you're pushing this on children. You're actually giving them a really warped and twisted worldview, which is going to harm them in the long term. I straight up reject it, and I challenge it when I see it. That's something I'll jump in on it, and I'll be like, no, that's not.
I got some statistics for you.
Some
I don't
people
like
say a lot these days.
I would feel really weird arguing with a black man about racism. I don't know if I would take that challenge, but shit.
How did we get here? People say, oh my gosh, the world is going crazy. And I'm like, it's got here because of your silence. That's how it got here. So if you continue to remain silent, if you continue to play games, if you continue to do and say things you know do not make sense or are not right, where do you think it's going to be in 5 years? Where do you think it's going to be in 10 years? In fact, if you have children, think about the world you want them to inherit. Do you want your children to grow up in a world where they have less freedom? No, right? You want your...
Yeah. Think about the world that you want your children to inherit.
Children to grow up in a world with more liberty and more prosperity and more opportunity. And we've seen many times in history what happens when people go along with things that are wrong and unethical. And so we need to remember and have some humility that we are not so much wiser than everyone who came before us, that we're suddenly immune to all of these mental and cognitive flaws, or that we're immune to groupthink or going along with the herd, or that cowardice even. I think there's a pandemic of cowardice right now. And I just think if everybody could be 10%, 20% more bold and forthright and outspoken in the face of nonsense or in the face of things that are...
Let's see what you consider bold. Let's see what kind of voices you promote. Let's see what kind of nonsense you're trying to take down, sir. The Denver gunman left behind a digital trail of violent alt-right hate. A Denver area man who went on a shooting rampage. This was December 29th is when this story was published. Targeted the victims and left behind an online profile full of hate, according to reports. What does this have to do with Zuby? Zuby had this man on his show. He promoted his book. Why did Zuby block me on Twitter? Because I asked him if he had apologized for platforming the man that shot up Denver. That's why Zuby blocked me on Twitter. He doesn't like to be challenged. Lyndon McCleod, a former owner of a tattoo shop, killed 5 people before being shot to death himself. According to the Denver Post, McCleod, 47, released one of 3 novels in 2018 that had a character who committed a murder at an apartment complex, which was nearly identical to one of the shootings in Monday's deadly shooting spree. Guess what? I do believe that's the book he was promoting on Zuby. According to a Daily Beast study of social media posts, McCleod appeared to be an author committed to alt-right ideologies, which include violence. The report revealed McCleod was an author dedicated to alt-right philosophies, including masculine supremacy, contrarian COVID-19 beliefs, and targeted violence against the weak. Police Chief Paul Pazin told reporters at a press conference that the gunman had been on the radar of law enforcement before the violent outburst. According to the Daily Beast investigation, McCleod seemed to routinely use snippets from his work to comment on current events in his posts, such as COVID disinformation meme on Twitter starring Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg and Microsoft founder Bill Gates. Billionaires were discussing their strategy to the pandemic in the meme, which was shared on May 1st of last year. Gates was praised for mandated vaccines, while Zuckerberg was praised for an injectable nanoworm. McCleod, who was shot by a Lakewood cop on Monday, reportedly replied to the photo with a remark from one of his series' characters. It's not really a worm so much, however, I understand the point. According to the Daily Beast, right-wing rapper and social media sensation Newsby Azabuti Azduzi, better known by his stage name Zuby. Oh, is it McCleod? I'm sorry. Zuby welcomed McCleod on his podcast in 2019 to discuss one of his books. Though he admitted he had not read the book, the host stated it was currently blowing up. I have went on this rant before. I'm sorry. McCleod. Yeah, probably not the best phrase, but how was Zuby to know the dude was gonna go on to shoot up Denver? Couldn't possibly be the ideology he was espousing.